What I'd like to do in this presentation is just give you a quick overview of the Worldwide Shoppers Club's exclusive and proprietary residual rebate system. Now I assume you've seen a presentation and want to know more, but just in case you haven't, let me just give you a quick review. The Worldwide Shoppers Club is an international, non-registered, not-for-profit, private volunteer membership club. Now all of those words are important, but basically what that says is the club is in the cloud. We're not registered, we can be anywhere in the world. It is not a business of any kind, but it does provide a tremendous opportunity for our members. What we basically do is just link up our members with merchants and service providers all around the world that are collected into a global pool through a Class A international bank. Since it's not a business, the Worldwide Shoppers Club itself handles no money. Beyond these rebates, additional rebate enhancements from other sources and opportunities are added to the pool. And then finally, the residual rebate system directs the bank to distribute all of the pool to the club's active members for an amount greater than 100% of the rebates generated by the global members. The club must grow to achieve its goals and purposes. So the residual rebate system is set up to reward active members for their contribution to the growth of the club through their personal efforts, working as a team, and helping others. Now, only active members receive residual rebates, and these are people who pay a $25 a month membership fee until they've invited 3 other active members, and they've also generated at least $10 a month in personal shopping rebates. So how do we measure contribution for residual rebates? Well, first of all, it's the amount of personal shopping rebates generated by an active member. Next, we measure the size of the shopping group developed by the active member. And third, we mention the amount of rebates generated by the active member shopping group. Pretty straightforward, so let's review each of these to see how it works. First of all, we have the personal shopping rebates, and there's 2 really good reasons for doing personal shopping. The first reason is for the brand new active member, who will receive 50% of the rebates generated from their personal shopping until their shopping group rebates exceed it. Let me give you an example of this. Here's someone who spends $200, they got a 20% rebate for $40. At 50%, they keep 20 and 20 goes back to the pool. Now, as it says, they'll continue to receive at least that amount of personal rebates until their group shopping rebates exceed it. And the best way to understand that is in the chart on the right that says you'll receive the larger of either your personal shopping rebates or the group shopping rebates. And the reason for this is it doesn't really matter where your rebates come from. What matters is how many rebates you're receiving in proportion to the amount of money you're spending. But what this personal shopping rebate does is guarantee a rebate for a new member or members without a shopping group. Now let's look at the second reason for doing more personal shopping rebates, and that is so you can receive more group shopping rebates. So the global rebate pool is divided into 5 $10 rebate generation subpools. Well, the total global pool is made up from the rebates of all of the members. So members' monthly purchases generate rebates in the various subpools. Next, the members group also generates rebates in the various subpools, and it's reasonable to expect that there will be less members in each subpool as the subpools get larger. For residual rebates, the pools stand alone. Members receive group rebates from the rebate subpools they're in and not from the subpools they are not in. So this all boils down to the more personally generated rebates by the member will equal more group residual rebates received by the member. Now let's go on to the second way of measuring contribution, and that is by the size of the shopping group. What we have is something called shopping circles, and as you'll see, shopping circles will grow into shopping groups. So we put a very high value on this. Now a shopping circle is completed by personally inviting and maintaining 3 active members. As each of these active members join, they increase the percentage of the eligible rebates that can be received from the shopping group. So your first active member, you receive 25% of what you're eligible for. The second, 50%, and it takes 3 active members before you could receive 100% of the rebates that you're eligible for. The other advantage of maintaining 3 active members is you no longer have to pay monthly membership fees. And as you'll see, these rewards for creating a shopping circle are absolute key to the expansion of the member shopping group, and therefore key to the global expansion of the club. So we have a little slogan: 3 is free, 3 is key, complete ASAP. Now let me show you how shopping groups grow from shopping circles. So a shopping group starts with an active member completing a shopping circle as we have here. What we call this is their first connection, where they have 3 members. So what happens is these new members then complete their shopping circles to also receive 100% rebates and no fees. Now that's your second connection. You've added 9 more members to your group for a total of 12 members. And again, each one of these are going to want to do the same, so the shopping group increases in size as each new member completes their shopping circle. Now, if this just continues as each new member reaches out to 3 new active members to complete their shopping circle, all the way through many connections, and that's how a new member expands their group just through the creation of new shopping circles. Since nothing grows perfectly, what we've set up is member milestones that measure and recognize member contributions to the growth of the club by the size of their shopping group. And what this boils down to is increased size equals increased residual rebates. Now let's move on to point number 3 of measuring contribution, group shopping rebates. Since a group is made up of individuals and individual group members generate rebates into the 5 subpools by shopping for items they need and want, then in effect the entire group is also generating rebates. Of course, not everyone will generate $50 in monthly rebates, so what we're going to use in our examples for estimating rebates is that, of course, in the $10 subpool, 100% will be active members. But let's suppose that only 85% of the group moved on to actually generate $20 in rebates, 65% moved on to $30 in rebates, 50% moved on to $40 in rebates, and only 30% of the entire group generated enough rebates to be in the $50 subpool. So if we take a look at our milestones, take a couple examples. So if you have 200 active members in your group, of course you'll have 200 in the $10 subpool. 170 of those would have moved on to the $20 subpool, 130 onto the $30, 100 to the $40, and only 60 to the $50 subpool. And of course the same proportions go for the 1,200. So with these conditions, let's do some estimates of the rebates that can be received by the active members. We have the amount of personal shopping. That could be anywhere from generating $10 to $50 in rebates, and that happens both in personal and group rebate generations. The second is the size of the group, and that's where we put down our milestones. The third is the total rebates generated by the group, and that's the percentages we just went over. So with these conditions, here's the amount of rebates that can be received by the active member depending on their personal shopping level and their group size level. Rather than try to absorb this whole chart, let's just zero in and look at the 200 and the 1,200 member group size. So what this is, if you had a group of 200 members and you were shopping and generating $10 worth of rebates, you would receive $281. But going all the way to the other end, if you were shopping at $50 worth of rebates, you would receive $1,260. Now there is no difference in the size of the group. The only difference is the amount of personal shopping you were generating. Because what that did was allow you to get into more of the subpools and receive more from each subpool as you did so. Similarly, at the 1,200 member level, if you were generating $10 in rebates, it would just be a little over $1,000. But if you were in the $50 range, it would be over $6,000. So that's pretty much it. But before we leave this, I want to cover one more topic, and that is rebate enhancements. Without going into any details, basically all organizations of any size have opportunities that come to them. Most businesses would share that with their shareholders. The club doesn't have shareholders. The club is also not for profit. Put any of these type of opportunity enhancements into the pool to be shared by all the members. Now, in order to get these enhancements, we really have to grow the club. What I'm going to show you is just a couple of examples if we did have enhancements at both the $10 and the $20 enhancement level. The yellow chart is 0 enhancements, which we just saw. The green chart is $10 in rebate enhancements, and the blue chart is $20 in rebate enhancements. Here's what we can expect. Let's take a look at our 200 and our 1,200 level. So at 200, you can see we were at $1,260. If we can get $10 enhancements, that will go to $1,600, an increase of about $400. If we go to $20 in rebate enhancements, that will jump up to $1,800, an increase of $600. At $1,200, we were at $6,000. At $10 enhancement, that would be up to $8,000. And at a $20 rebate enhancement, that would jump up to $9,000. Now just to be clear, none of these increases have to do with member-generated rebates. These all come because we all work together to increase the size of the club, and the club will periodically provide estimate growth targets for receiving these enhancements. Now, of course, there's much more to cover. When you join, you'll get your own website, your own dashboard, and your own resource center where you can go and get all of the answers. So thanks for joining me. Let's keep this simple. It just basically boils down to joining, shopping, redeeming. So get with the person that invited you to look at this presentation and take that first step. Join. We'd love to have you as a new member in the Worldwide Shoppers Club.